June is Active Transportation Month, and joining me now to talk about this year's Active Transportation Challenge is Chantal Lalonde-Baudet. Welcome, Chantal.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, so before we get into this year's event, maybe you could give us a little bit of background because this is an initiative that's been around for several years now.
Yeah, it started off as the Active Transportation Challenge. And it was a 1 week challenge where we would encourage people to swap out some of their regular commutes where they would drive to work or maybe drive to school or anywhere. And we'd ask them to sort of try and switch out one of those rides for a bike ride or a walk and try to do as much as they could. And then over the years, we sort of shifted it over because we are a region where transportation to and from work or to and from school isn't always obvious to switch it out for a bike ride or a walk. But walking and rolling or even using transit are just really great ways to get around or to get some extra exercise or have fun. And so we switched it over to the walk and roll challenge. And then after that, we decided 3 years ago, we went to a month long. So we started declaring June as walk and roll month across Cornwall and SDNG. And so here we are today.
Excellent. So let's talk about this month, and obviously a lot of active transportation methods are perfect for this current crisis. But there, as with many events and initiatives, there had to be changes made. So talk to me about how this year will work.
Yeah, so we actually weren't even sure if we were going to be able to move forward with Walk and Roll Month. I mean, I work for the health unit, and so most of my time and resources, as well as my colleagues' resources, have been sort of pulled away to COVID-related tasks. Same thing with some of our partners. You know, we work with the Centre de Santé Communautaire de l'Estrie and a lot of our volunteers. Trying to encourage people to kind of stay home, stay safe. So it was a bit tough. We had met earlier in the year and we had these really great plans for 2020, which I won't reveal because we're going to try to hang on to them for 2021. But then when the whole COVID crisis hit, we weren't sure what to do because we didn't know what June was going to look like. As time has gone on and we're seeing that slowly things are reopening, we felt that there was an opportunity to still celebrate June as Walk and Roll Month for two reasons. I think number one, people are starting to feel maybe a little bit cooped up. Maybe people are starting to feel like every day is the same and all we're talking about is COVID, COVID, COVID. And so we felt like this was something positive that people could kind of wrap themselves into, challenge themselves to maybe walk a bit more, take out their bikes or start biking for the first time. Maybe, I've been thinking about pulling out my rollerblades because I'm seeing tons of people in my neighborhood suddenly rollerblading. So why not? But the other thing is that I think you kind of touched on it, is that we've seen an influx of people actually going out and riding their bikes and walking because number one, there's not much else to do. Which I think is a good problem to have in some ways, but also in terms of transportation, walking, riding your bike might be some of the safest ways to get around right now. You're getting some fresh air, you're moving your body, and naturally you're staying physically distanced from people while still being connected to nature and the outdoors.
And you touched on the mental aspect of that, of people feeling cooped up, but let's elaborate a little bit more on that. We know that active transportation and walking and rolling, we know that has benefits no matter what the current situation is. But right now, the added benefit to people's spirits and mental state is you can't underestimate that.
Absolutely. And I mean, and if there's no reason for you to be staying home, I think take advantage of this, maybe I guess like extra time where I guess we can't go anywhere else. We're not being shuttled to all of our regular activities, which in some ways can be a bit of a blessing. And I think the mental health benefits of just being outside, getting the blood flowing. It doesn't even have to be like a workout or exercise. It can just be like a very leisurely walk or a nice bike ride. Just to change your ideas around. If you haven't been seeing a lot of people, obviously we're staying physically distanced from people, but we walk around our park here in our neighborhood, and it's strange because as much as we've been physically distanced from people, we've gotten to know more of our neighbors in the last like 12 weeks than in the last 3 years because everybody's out walking, and so you've just kind of create this camaraderie with your neighbors that you see, you wave, you chat from across the street, and it's kind of nice. It gives you a bit of connection in a time where we feel very disconnected from people physically, at least.
Absolutely. So finally, how can people participate in Walk and Roll Month?
Yeah, well, obviously we've switched everything to online. Our campaign annually was very much online, but also depended a lot on partners who hosted really great events. We always had like the Cornwall Outdoor Club. We had a great bike ride. We had different clubs and groups that would host really fun things that were actual events. So this year, none of that is happening. But what we've done is we've revamped our bingo card that we always have. So we're inviting people to play bingo. Obviously, we're not handing out paper copies, which is good for the environment, but also because we don't want people to come out needlessly to come get a paper. But it is a bingo card that you can download off of our website or on our Facebook page. It's at walkandrollcornwallsdg.ca. And the bingo card has been revamped to fit the current situation. And so it's got nice little challenges, something as simple as like going for a walk or a stroll, walk and roll in the rain, or maybe learning how to change a flat tire, discovering new trails or parks that you may not know about that exist across Cornwall and SDNG. So just some little things that you can do either by yourself or you do it as a family. So maybe something to sort of stimulate you and motivate you for the rest of the month.
That's excellent. And on that note, Chantel, thank you so much for joining me to enlighten our viewers on this great initiative. And thank you so much to you and the team at Transition Cornwall and all of its partners to make sure that this Walk and Roll Month happens this year, even during these crazy times.
My pleasure. Thank you.